Welcome to a place where champions have wandered without a true home for over a century. From humble beginnings in 1916, this football program has since garnered 5 national championships, 8 state titles, and 28 conference rings. And now, one of the nation's most notorious junior college football programs has a facility worthy of their greatness. This is Hal Sherbeck Field, named after none other than the man who brought the program into prominence, a man whose legacy transcended the game, and a man whose care for his players triumphed any result on the scoreboard.
You talk about these former players that played for Hal Sherbeck, and you talk about men in their life. It's Hal Sherbeck and their dad.
You would take him out and he had that big smile on his face, hold his teeth up, and everybody would go crazy.
That's why Hal Sherbeck was so important, because he set a standard here at Fullerton College. And if you're below that standard, and this takes in all the sports, you're looked at not succeeding at the sport you coach.
Much concentration as you possibly can have. I want the elimination of errors, mistakes. You go hard to the whistle.
From the nation's longest win streak to the school's first 3 national championships, Hal Sherbeck left an indelible mark on junior college football.
His name is right up there, the lores of coaches.
I think he was probably the top junior college football coach in the history of the United States. I mean, he was wins and losses, but obviously it goes beyond that.
There's been some hardships and some things that have happened. I think everything else, just that you stick together and just realize what you've accomplished tonight and this season. This can stay with you for the rest of your life.
Today, his spirit lives on in every play, every game, on this unique field that finally gives the lost boys a place to call home. This is more than just a field. It's a legacy.
Every field tells a story. At Shaw Sports Turf, we believe it's more than just a place to play. It's a legacy. Join us as we uncover the remarkable stories behind the namesakes of these incredible facilities and the lives that made them legendary. Shaw Sports Turf presents On Treasured Turf.
He was a 3-sport letterman in college: basketball, football, and baseball. After college, got on with a local high school, and I guess became very successful there. So the story is, I don't know how they found out who he was from down here in Fullerton, but Dr. Lynn Scheller went up there and interviewed him and liked what he saw, and then he hired him, came here in 1960, and finished his coaching career here as the most successful community college football coach in the country.
He's the man that started it all. I mean, he came in 1961, and Fullerton College wasn't really known for athletics or football before Sherbeck came in, and he kind of brought that next level where they're a nationally known program.
The Junior Rose Bowl game is a wonderful event for junior college football, but it's wonderful in other ways too. Fullerton coach Hal Sherbeck feels a bit happier.
In 65 and 67, they played in the Rose Bowl. Had over 68,000 fans. It was called the Junior Rose Bowl, and they beat a team from Texas, and they were declared the national champions.
The most impressive thing for me is his 47-game unbeaten streak. How do you go 47 games straight and not lose a game? Fantastic. And you get 2 national championships out of that. You're rotating players every 2 years. It's not a 4-year program. So the fact that he was able to sustain that, very impressive.
Once on it, you're always on it. Yeah! And we're national champs, and we couldn't have did it for a better cause. Yeah! The Shrine Game. Yeah! All right, we're champions. I love you all. Thank you.
I think winning programs come with winning people, and that's what I've been fortunate enough to have. My time schedule is one in which I spend a lot of time, but it's fun and I enjoy it, or I wouldn't do it. And it's sometimes it becomes a long day and a long week and a long season, but when it ends with some rewards for young men, well, then it's all worthwhile.
Unbelievably successful as a football coach here, and not only a football coach, but also athletic director and dean. So he wore a lot of hats here.
He had a global vision. He was like right up there, even maybe above the president at times, but he commanded, performance, he commanded excellence, and he demanded that people around him were with him. Loyalty was a huge, huge thing with players and coaches and other staff members.
He knew everything. Nothing got by Hal Sherbeck. He was here early in the morning, he left late at night, and he knew about everything. You couldn't just, see if you could get something by Coach Sherbeck, because he would find out, and he'd call you out on it too.
This is something now that we all believe in. You stick together, be a Hornet family the rest of your life. Just remember this: once a Hornet, always a Hornet.
Back then, the junior colleges, people came to those because even as a freshman, you couldn't play in Division I or II. So you had to wait to your sophomore year. So a lot of them came to the community college to play it. So there's a lot of great athletes came in.
Even though it was only a 2-year program, drawing the best players in the area also meant some real college football-sized crowds.
There wasn't the 42 games on Saturday morning, afternoon, and night college on TV. Saturday night, it was Fullerton College football.
They would close down shops just for the rivalry between Fullerton and Santa Ana, the key to the county game. So it was a big deal.
We played at Anaheim Stadium for a number of years back in the 60s, and they would draw big crowds. 20,000 people would attend some of those games.
They played across the street at Fullerton High, and then they played at Cal State Fullerton. They played at Yorba Linda. They played at La Palma Park, and I want to say they played a season or two in the Santa Ana Bowl. So in 100 years of football, Fullerton College has never had a home until now.
When we go out and recruit against Mount Sac, who has a state-of-the-art stadium, Saddleback has a huge stadium, Orange Coast, all these stadiums, even Cerritos College has a 10,000-seat stadium. We knew we weren't going to get that type of stadium, so we had to be unique. And how are we going to be unique? We're going to be unique with our field.
The young athletes always look at that. They're the TikTok age, they're the flash age, and every time a recruit comes, they always go, "Oh, the great turf." It always stands out.
The kids love it. They love being out on the field that they work on together. They feel at home, and rather than going to a new place to play a home game.
The stadium means that they got a home. We talked about the team was called the Lost Boys. I came up with that because if everybody knows Peter Pan, the Lost Boys didn't have a home. They were at places where nobody wanted them. So that's why they left and hung out with Peter Pan. Many of our athletes came here because they did come from places that didn't want them. Hal will say he had a lot of young men that weren't loved on his football team, that they had no love at home, and the first home they ever found was at Fullerton College with Hal Sherbeck as the father figure.
We remember wins, and we remember championships and so on, but I think the biggest thing is when we all as coaches have some people come back that maybe we feel that maybe we touch some way or another, and that they've been successful not only in business, but they've been successful in their marriage and life, and want to come back and be part of something that they contributed to, and that's the key.
Coach for over 30 years, and you have a roster size of 100 guys, and the roster size turns over every year, that's a lot of young men that you have influence over. He built a lot of men and made a lot of great men who went on to be great husbands, great fathers, and great men in the community. So that's his legacy.
He reached out, he grabbed my hand, and he said, "So you're one of my boys." And there was just something about thinking, you know, I'd have ran through a brick wall for that man. Because if you could hear his words, every time he told you he loved one of the young men that he had, it wasn't a coach blowing smoke. It wasn't a coach saying, hey, I'm really great because I had great athletes. It was a coach that said every one of those young men, no matter where they came from, no matter what their background was, or their ethnicity, he reached out to them, pulled them into his life, and that's what mattered. And after that, I said, you know what? I would have done anything for him as an athlete, and I know why those athletes did anything for him.
Hal Sherbeck's legacy is etched into every blade of this field, a testament to his unwavering spirit and love for the game. This is more than just a place to play. It's where history meets the present, and where his story continues to inspire every step taken on this turf.